Warning, spoiler alert.
The Mandalorian is back with new episodes.
And we finally know what the antenna on the helmet is for.
And we return to Tatooine again as we break down episode 1 of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Welcome to the Feel Good Media Show with Kevin and Milton.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to the brand new Feel Good Media Show. My name is Kevin.
And I am Milton, or also known as Chaplain Milton.
Chaplain Milton. We decided just to hang out because we both love movies. We love watching film.
Yeah.
And we decided we're going to do this. And then the theaters went, nope, you're not.
Yeah, that was not good.
No.
Paying, what were we paying for our Regal membership?
They did put it on pause, though.
Yeah, that was good.
So that's good. And then they shut down again.
Yeah, that was.
And then they opened up, and then
no
they shut down again. But so we decided, you know what, Mandalorian is out. We got to dive into this. So we're just going to spend some time breaking down these episodes and having some fun.
Yeah, and it's just a fun thing to do during this kind of shutdown time. But it also hopefully will give our viewers, our listeners, you know, some good shows to check out with the family, and hopefully some things to think about as they're watching.
All right, yeah. I read your notes ahead of time.
Okay.
And
I did take some notes.
You are a chaplain, so we're gonna infuse some theological conversations into the Mandalorian. We're gonna go there.
Yeah, for sure. But before we do that, I just want to say I'm really enjoying this show.
Yes.
Okay, I hope you are too. But I think, you know, Jon Favreau is writing a lot of the episodes, directing a lot of the episodes, and I think he's done something really amazing. And you and I were talking about it before. His ability to tap into the old school Star Wars fans.
Yep.
You know, the ones from A New Hope, back in the days, the ones who stood in line to watch Empire Strikes Back. I remember doing that as a kid. And then the new school Star Wars fans. And he's giving everybody just something to just connect with. I love that.
We've got a 12-year-old. He's loving Star Wars.
Yeah.
We just introduced them to the whole world about a year ago. But then there's everything that is connecting from our childhood as well.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and this episode, I don't know if you had this moment, but I had this moment when Mando walks into this like fighting arena, and I see these two dudes, you know, fighting, and I'm like, those are the guards from Jabba's palace, you know, from Return of the Jedi.
Underground.
Yeah,
yes. I just remember the big squeal. And like that big spike coming down on his head.
Oh yeah. I think we're going to talk about that the next episode. But yeah, and there's just something for everybody. Yeah. Like you have that gangster underworld there. You have horror things, you know, red eyes in the darkness.
Oh,
you know, you have
that scene was beautifully written.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm not going to hurt you.
Right. I'm going to keep my word to you,
they found a way
but you're still going to be hurt through this thing.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think the creators of the show have done such a good job, and I'm just enjoying. And then, of course, going back to Tatooine.
Yes.
Like, I mean, how many times are we going to go back to this planet? Haven't we done it enough?
There are many planets in the galaxy. This is the hot planet. Everybody wants to go back there.
I know. And what is there to see there? It's just sand. Like,
there's a lot. I watched the entire episode, and I love the pace of the series because the movies are so, you know, cram everything in, and it's a blockbuster, summer blockbuster.
Right.
This really has allowed Star Wars to breathe.
Yeah, for sure.
And just slow down the pace and just enjoy the environment and the planets and the characters more.
Right.
I really have been enjoying that about like a TV series.
Yeah, and you think about it, you take the first 3 episodes, 4, 5, and 6 of the movie franchise, right? Mm-hmm. And that was such a narrow world that we saw. I mean, we didn't go very far. You know, we went to Tatooine, we went to space, we went to Endor, you know, we went to a few places. And then you had episodes 1, 2, and 3, and that just blew it up to another level. You went to all these places, and I feel like this is taking.
I don't remember 1, 2, or 3. I wrote those out of my head.
You wrote that. See, and I'm one of those weird people that actually enjoyed those. Yes. Not every aspect of it, but anyway, we can talk about that another time.
All right.
But I feel like this series now just keeps blowing up the universe and showing us so much more that exists out there. I'm loving it.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's so good. So we have a couple questions here about of what we're gonna talk about. Just some Easter eggs, and there's a ton.
Oh man, I'm sure I haven't seen them all.
No, John comes from the world of Marvel.
Yeah.
So and now he's in the whole Disney camp.
Yeah.
And he's
he brought us Iron Man.
Yes.
I mean the one that started the whole thing.
It all.
Yeah.
So the whole plan is to do this with the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Which will be just amazing.
I think
to have
so.
just interconnected movies, and right now what we've gotten is just little tastes.
Yeah.
We really haven't started to see the interconnection now, but now we're starting to see it, especially with the Mandalorian, because you also have what's his name? I'm sorry, as Dave who directed the Clone Wars. Is now involved in this, and he was like right-hand man to George Lucas for decades.
Wow.
And so he is bringing all this history
good.
all this canon into Star Wars that has never been there. Well, it has been there for a long time, but it's never been really embraced by the major
it's becoming just part of the language now that it wasn't before. So like, of course they pull this egg out of this dragon or a pearl. I'm not sure. We don't know what that is, but I feel like it was on camera. Something's going to happen with that, right?
Baby Yoda's going to eat it.
Episode 2.
Oh, okay.
But so then there's that. Then every so often there's a strange character shows up in the shadows, and at the end of the episode, we had this monk that was just kind of watching Mando take off on the speeder bike, which is from Empire Strikes Back, which I love too. Yeah. So
there you go.
So anyway, no, Return of the Jedi. Sorry, the speeder bike's on Endor.
Okay.
But anyway, the who is this guy?
Right.
Who is he?
Yeah.
Like you have a theory, I think.
I do.
Okay. What is the theory?
I think he's Boba Fett.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay, fine.
There it is, right there.
But how could he be Boba Fett? Boba Fett died in Return of the Jedi,
No, he didn't.
eaten by the Sarlacc.
That's what this whole episode was about.
Okay, tell me.
Which I didn't realize until I read smarter people who told me what this episode is about.
Okay, well, what did they say?
So, first of all, I just enjoyed the episode for what it was. I was like, well, that was a cool little side adventure.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a side adventure at all. I think it was very purposeful to show how Boba Fett survived, because the character at the end was actually in the prequels. He was the guy who played the clone.
In Attack of the Clones.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And so that storyline is
Jango Fett.
Jango. The storyline is continued. So I really do think that this is him. And then also the missing armor, and the armor was bought off Jawas. And here's a really cool Easter egg that I found online. Again, not smart enough to see it myself.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch it, in the original Star Wars, Boba Fett's backpack
the jetpack
he got hammered by
Han Solo, and he fell into the Sarlacc.
Right. So if you go back and watch the episode, they repaired that. You can see the repair in like 3 shots of the screen. And so a lot of people are saying that's his backpack. And then this whole episode was to show how he actually could have escaped.
Just like Mando went into the dragon and came out, you're saying that Boba Fett went into the Sarlacc and was able to come out, and then somehow the Jawas got a hold of his armor.
Yes, and he's been eating Sarlacc meat this whole time. And surviving at Tatooine. So I think
that'll be interesting. So we may have this thread throughout the rest of the episodes of this season where Boba Fett may show himself.
Which is really cool, because I watched the first season and I really felt like it was just an adventure. Yeah. That really wasn't tied to much. I mean, it had after you got to the end, and then like the Darksaber came out, and I was like, I have no idea what that is. Yeah. And then I started reading all about the Mandalorians and the Mandalore, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm so out nerded by the show. And it's just going to continue from what I understand. So
should be fun.
I'm all in.
Okay, cool. So thinking about just, because I can't help it. I'm a chaplain. I'm a pastor. So I think spiritually about a lot
you got
of
to Jesus juke everything.
Yeah. So I got to Jesus juke everything, right? But I just love the story of the sheriff. He got the armor.
Yes.
And they showed the story of when the miners came and took over and everything after the second Death Star blows up. I just love how they go back to everything, right? Yeah. But he was able to get his hand on this armor, and he was able to come back and be brave and free his people. And of course, I thought of armor of God, Ephesians 6. And the one thing I thought about is, I've always looked at the armor of God as it's something that I put on myself to protect myself from the evil, from the enemy's attacks. But could it be the aspect that this brought out that I hadn't thought about, that the armor of God is not about protecting myself. It's about equipping me to help others.
Oh, wow.
Right?
There you go.
So
yeah.
I don't put on the armor of God
I
because
like
I'm afraid. I put on the armor of God because there's a war and I need to fight in this war. And the war is for people. It's for
ready
souls.
for battle.
Right.
Oh,
right.
I like that. That's cool.
So that's what it made me think of.
Because he does mention that. He's like, this, I protect the city with this armor. This armor allows me to protect the people.
Exactly.
And I thought that was a little weird. I'm like, okay, well, especially with a 7,000-ton sand monster going through the city. I don't think that armor is going to do much for you,
No.
buddy. but yeah, it's definitely a means to show up for others. That's cool.
Right. And then when we all come together, like they all came together, enemies, perceived enemies.
Ready to kill each other.
They came together and they were able to defeat the evil that was haunting all of them. So, I just felt like it was
Very
a
nice.
great little lesson there, that we could all take for ourselves. So at the end of these episodes, we always want to come to a conclusion of saying, what's the feel good, do good,
Okay.
takeaway that we can have from this episode, because that's what we're about here at Project, feel good, do good.
All right. So what's your feel good?
My feel good is that it feels good to know that God is out there taking care of us. He's, that armor of God is available to all of us, and there's nothing out there that we have to be afraid of if God is on our side. So that makes me feel good.
Absolutely.
Now, what about do good?
Yeah. What do you do to help others? I think
Yeah.
you got to get out there and get your hands dirty.
Absolutely.
And that armor isn't going to do much for you if you're just sitting in the corner, having a drink.
Yeah.
So I think you got to get out there and help others.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's our first episode. Awesome.
Nailed it.
We did nail it. So, we want to invite everybody who's watching, subscribe to our show so that when new episodes are available. Share it with people if you had fun doing that. And also, we'd love in the comments if you have a show or a movie or a music video or a song that you'd like to get Kevin and I's reaction on. We'd love to do that too. So we're always looking for ideas.
Absolutely. Thanks for showing up. We'll see you next episode.